Today's gonna be a wonderful day, 'cause I am in a great mood. La 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 la. Just gotta check the schedule now. I'm sure there's nothing bad here. Oh, you no good motherfuckers. Hello, my name is Hunter, the movie reviewing pony, because when it comes to cinema, humans cannot be trusted. Well, here we are. It's been a very long time, but we finally made it. We finally arrived at the last Dog Who Saved movie! I mean, holy shit! I've been doing this for 8.5 years. I'm the guy that shows up right underneath The Dog Who Saved Christmas when you YouTube search The Dog Who Saved Christmas on YouTube. And I'm the first thing that shows up if you search The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation. I accidentally became the face of this franchise. And in most cases, my reviews have more views than their trailers. In fact, for some of these, by a very large margin. Honestly, I can't believe we've been here this long. And quite frankly, I also didn't think they were going to make more than 3 movies. And this long-ass franchise has finally led up to this moment. I, for one, am not excited about this at all, so...
Oh my lord, are you still doing this?
Yeah, it's kind of our flagship series. Remember the whole bit about me being the face of the franchise?
Yeah, but it's not really worth bragging about that for a direct-to-DVD series of movies.
That is not entirely true. The first 2 movies were on the Hallmark Channel.
Okay, but they air 70 Christmas movies a year. Maybe even more.
Well, that's... I mean... Shit. Even Christmas shoes?
Probably.
Huh. Wait, aren't you on the art team? How come you know so much about this?
Because I'm not lazy and actually bothered to study the source material, especially the stuff for today's movie, The Dog Who Saved Summer. In a way, this is the rock bottom for the whole franchise. Parts of this are marginally better than the Easter movie, but it's still overall worse. It's boring, it's predictable, it's unoriginal, and frankly, I think they reused a lot of their own material. On top of that, it's extremely boring and pretty much has nothing to do with summer. The movie's kind of doing its own thing while summer is happening in the background. And of course you can feel the franchise fatigue going on here. It's the 6th movie in this long, awful franchise. It's a crawl to get through, and everyone's just waiting for the series to finally die off, and everyone's done trying at this point. Most of these actors know that this is the last stop in their career, and it makes for an awful, awful movie. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this movie was created for the sole purpose of making Hunter miserable. And Headhunter Productions has been on this ride since it was even called Headhunter Productions. In all that time, barely anything has improved. It feels like that one internet meme.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
And that is pretty much all I have to say about it.
Sit over there.
Huh? What?
Over there. Just off camera. I'm having you on standby for this review.
Oh, okay.
You may make a critic out of that girl yet. Anyway, I'm sure all of us can't wait for this ride to finally be over. So, without further ado, let's suffer through The Dog Who Saved Summer. Summer. Which is the worst season! Oh my god! So as the film opens up, we see that Hybrid is still the ones making this, but... that's it, actually. Then we just cut right into the movie. I don't know what happened to Lionsgate, but apparently even they've washed their hands of this franchise. And if Lionsgate is gone, ho, there is literally no one left to save you. So as is standard with all of these low-budget, straight-to-DVD crap movies, we get about 30 seconds of literally nothing at all to do with the plot. So instead, we get this great big reminder that it is, in fact, summer because, look, there are people. They are doing summer things. Even though summer is absolutely nothing like this ever.
Oh, yeah. This is summer.
That's my house right there. And this is where our story begins. Just another Saturday afternoon for the Bannister family.
So immediately the problems start rolling in as our entire cast decided to come back for this one. Zeus did not give up the nasty habit of talking except not actually talking. And unfortunately, Gary is back for this movie. I don't know why he's back, but he is.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Bannister bacon buffalo burgers.
Honey, that sounds very heavy.
Well, they're charbroiled.
I need you to go inside and check on the kids and get yourself cleaned up.
Ah, yes, the kids. But are you sure they are your kids? Because you switch actors every fucking movie. And this one was absolutely not an exception to that. They've been the same goddamn age for 6 years, guys. Sometimes even younger. And look, it's the baby we've been talking about for 3 years. We don't know its name. We don't know what gender it is. We don't know literally anything about it. We don't even know if this is the original baby. It might not be. Suddenly, without warning, the movie is interrupted by...
Carmen Sandiego?
Ooh, yeah, good. That's good. I like that. Apparently, Carmen Sandiego here is a party planner, and now apparently so is Blinda. Even though in the first movie, I distinctly remember her saying she was a costume designer. And apparently these two hate each other.
Thing is, in order for you to be my competition, you have to be in the same league as me. Oh, call Marilyn for all your party needs, weddings, showers, bat mitzvahs, quinceañeras. I love your dress.
Oh, I get it now. We're not supposed to like this character. I swear to God, they do this with every movie. Remember, we weren't supposed to like Randy either. Or someone from The Dog Who Saved Halloween. Or that neighbor guy.
What do you think you're doing? Get down from there. Now.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
Oh, you mean like the starving kids in Africa? Like the ones you could have fed with the money that went into this goddamn movie? What follows is a really weird scene. They can clearly see the tiny dog running around the yard, and yeah, Zeus is chasing the tiny dog to try to get it to stop, but Zeus gets blamed for, like, all of it. I swear to God. Okay, miscommunication is never a good plot device unless it's hilarious, and this is not hilarious. It's just annoying. So the party is ruined, Zeus gets blamed for all of it, the boys laugh, Carmen Sandiego is the smug bitch of the movie. Looks like a shit setup for a shit movie, guys. Naturally, it's time to shoo in What's-Her-Face for her one appearance in this goddamn movie. Okay, sometimes it's more than one, but she's always useless. For the record, I don't know how every other character gets thrown to the wayside after their respective movie, but she somehow ends up in all of them.
I told you to stay off the Twitter.
How else is the Firefly troop leader going to get the announcements out, huh?
Mom, this is serious.
Yes, serious. Because old people on the internet is indeed a serious matter. Also, this time around, she's a Cub Scout leader. I don't even think the writers know what she does at this point.
Well, let's take the dog to obedience school. All he needs is a refresher.
Oh yes, the former police dog who underwent years of training and needs a refresher course. Yes, obviously, that's how it works. And then there's a bit with Poison Ivy, and it's not funny. Naturally, our next stop is the police station, because this movie belongs in... Oh. Hey, Ted. Hey, Stewie.
Wait a minute. They came back for the 6th movie in a row, and you're not the least bit upset?
Not really, because it's kind of becoming a regular occurrence. I mean, these two poor guys did seem like they were gonna, actually do something with their lives at the end of The Dog Who Saved the Holidays, but clearly the writers had other plans for their sad, miserable existence. They're apparently cursed by some higher order to constantly be stopped by this dog, and quite frankly, the odds of them running into this dog 6 times are statistically 0. I'm an atheist, but in the off chance that there is a hell, I swear Zeus is gonna haunt them from beyond the grave. Also, the third guy is back for this movie. I mean, in a way, you gotta feel bad for these losers.
You seriously feel bad?
Oh, make no mistake. One day they'll look back at this and laugh.
Or cry.
Good news, fellas. Judge Martin says there's not enough evidence to hold you. You're being released.
Okay, now I'm upset because we have eyewitness accounts of them breaking into a house in the last movie. How long we been doing this, Ted and Stewie? 9 years? 9 years. You've caught these guys repeatedly breaking into houses and you're telling me there's not enough evidence?
Not so fast. Not enough evidence to hold them. We got your face all over the security cameras. What? No. Pop a squat, you're going nowhere.
Okay, yeah, see, that makes lots more sense, but I still think this is white privilege. And then we go to the abandoned mall with as few extras walking around as possible. Cause we're on a budget here, guys. You seriously think we can afford more than 3 people? This place is so empty, I'm half expecting it to end up in a video by Bright Sun Films.
Well, honey, if you were paying attention, you would know that this could cost me my entire career.
Yes, your extremely important career that we never hear about or see you do in any capacity is in grave danger of being over. And then Ben, if that is his real name, gets distracted by remote control helicopters.
Remote control helicopters?
So I guess we're doing the dog training school. Even though they're completely ignoring that whole thing I said about miscommunication being a bad plot device. Though to be fair, the dog has been miscommunicating for 5 movies now, and... No. Actually, no. That just makes it worse. And oh, what a coincidence, they're also looking for a party planner, and Blinda's been complaining about her career in shambles for at least 5 minutes.
I don't know. We already had a bid on one planner, and Marilyn's got a lot of experience.
Marilyn!
Uh-oh, that touched a nerve.
Oh, and the coincidences just start rolling in, how we keep running into people all the time, and...
This is a chance to redeem myself and prove that Catherine's baby shower was just a fluke.
Wait, you did Catherine Clancy's baby shower? The one where all the presents ended up on fire?
Actually,
Okay, movie, you're not in some Alaska town where the population is 95 and everybody knows one another. You're in California. It's one of the biggest states in the United States, and nearly 40 million people live there. How about we pretend you remembered to put those extra zeros on and more than 40 people live in this state? Though then again, in California at the very least, parties do tend to make national headlines. For more depressing reasons than others, more often than not. Also, there's a maintenance guy here. He will be very important later in the story. And then, for an interesting change of pace, What's-Her-Face gets more than one scene in this movie. I mean, she still contributes nothing, but we see her more than once. Moving on.
Your canine does not know defiance, do they?
No, Vernon!
Your canine does not know fear, do they?
No, Vernon!
Okay, this is our first impression of sit and stay dog training whatever boot camp, and you guys are not investing me in this obedience training at all. And apparently Murray, which is his name by the way, doesn't like George. Not because he was late, I think, but mostly because nobody likes George. That's true. That's a true fact. That's canon. I am the face of this franchise, and I now just declared that that is canon. Why are you laughing? Don't laugh at me. I would have these movies thrown off of YouTube if I had a little more power. I've gone mad with my moderate amount of power. The production company for these movies was an asshole to me, so now I'm gonna be an asshole to them. Meanwhile, on the other side of the same shopping center, I don't know why we need another establishing shop. Oh, God.
Why does he always play the woman?
Because he's pretty much their only comic relief character. He's a walking, talking hack. For the record, he could be whatever he wants to be, alright? We shot this during Pride Month. But in the context of this movie, it's not endearing. It's just degrading.
Worst part is, I don't think this is the stupidest thing they've done to him.
Nah, it'll be really, really hard to top the rabbit suit in the last movie. So the plan is, let's see here. Okay, my notes just say the plan is stupid, but Stewie is gonna run diversion tactics. Well, what's his face, Ron or some shit, goes to the back and tries to find the vault. Because this place also has a vault, I guess. Also, he walks right by a bunch of cameras, apparently, and doesn't get caught. Because of course he doesn't. Seriously, I can see the camera back there. He's on camera. Why is he... What? Really? Okay. And they're gonna steal this glass prop that looks like a diamond, because we've run out of interesting things to steal. We're just gonna do a diamond now. Oh, but we're not gonna steal it now. No. We're just casing the place right now. Which is honestly the smartest thing they've done in all 6 of these movies. I gotta give them credit. Meanwhile...
In the Vernon way is to instill reward-based behavior in your canine. If your dog does the instructed tasks, then he should be rewarded.
Oh, I see what's going on. It's George. He's the idiot.
Sit. No. I mean the canine.
Oh. Sorry, I thought this was the dog who saved Summer, not the George who ruined my faith in humanity, of which there was already none. Speaking of George, he excuses himself to go throw up because A, he ate a dog treat, which I guess causes people to throw up, and B, he just realized he's back in this fucking franchise. I'm just not invested in the story at all, and how am I supposed to get invested in any of these characters? All of the adults act like children, all of the dogs are annoying, and the children don't act. So where do we go from here?
I'm Colby, and this is Buster and Relish.
I don't care. You're not going to be important enough to remember.
Canine police dogs. Pfft, all a bunch of wimps, if you ask me.
What makes you so special?
Apollo's a former Marine.
Really? Semper Fi, my friend.
You have no idea what that word means, do you? I think Sharknado had a better grasp on the meaning of those words than you do. And then Apollo steals Zeus's collar, basically off camera because we couldn't make the effect work. Drama! Serious! Then our 2 robber guys, who are still being idiots, go meet up with our 3rd robber guy because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And... you know, I was gonna wait to touch base on this, but whatever they're trying to do right now has very little to do with the dog. Ted, Stewie, and What's-His-Face are just kind of doing their own thing for pretty much all of this movie. They don't even see the dog until the end of the movie. The B-plot is so disconnected now, nobody even knows if they're in the same movie anymore.
I'll bet you the recipe at the doggy school is much simpler.
Whoa, what dog? You know I don't like dogs. No dogs.
And I guess the writers just completely forgot about the mobile dog grooming thing that they were doing in The Dog Who Saved the Holidays. You know, I don't think that movie is even canon anymore. But we don't have time to focus on that because the plot is so disconnected in this movie And we need to listen to George complain about how Murray is a meanie bobini. Because apparently this movie needs to be all about George, making up for the fact that he wasn't in the last movie. We need to concentrate him in this movie.
I'm not going back there. Discussion over.
It is 20 goddamn 15. Why do you still have a clapper? Seriously, 2003 is over. We have technology now.
How are you even holding that?
It's easier if you don't think about it. George reluctantly agrees to go back, just like how he reluctantly agreed to no longer have a career, and we cut to a janitor in the middle of the mall. Alright. We got to the next day and we're at the beach where I guess Blinda's trying to buy party supplies for this luau sort of thing that they're trying to do. However, for reasons only known to the writing staff of this movie, her 57th adopted daughter is immensely better at this than she is. This is never spoken about again because I don't even think the writers know what they're doing right now. Oh, and Carmen shows up, the exact same place, despite this being a huge town. Coincidence? Probably not. Meanwhile, Stewie and the other guy are at City Hall? What the fuck?
We're looking for the survey for lot 23, block 1138.
Okay, see, I don't know what that is. Kids don't know what that is. The writers probably don't know what that is. Frankly, I don't think you know what that is. You're speaking nonsense. You just walked into this office and you're speaking gibberish because you've lost your mind. Also, Stewie is into the secretary here because, well, they did a cheap slow-motion visual effect and everything, and Stewie's all like, oh... You know, like all those other low-budget movies out there. Also, I'm pretty sure they did the same effect in an earlier movie, but it was with one of the dogs. I know I've said a million times that they're out of ideas, but... Meanwhile, back at the Crazy Town Mall, George is...
Don't get stuck in there, George.
Yeah.
You're unfocused, Bannister. You need concentration. Discipline.
No, I don't think he needs concentration. I think you're just saying random crap right now. Look, the movie has one joke. George is an idiot. That's what's going on right now. That and Murray is not the friendliest person in the room right now, and that is not going to get them a great review on Yelp.
I can't believe he agreed to come back
for Jakes, wow, okay. So they all go running, but surprise, surprise, George is bad at that too, because George is apparently bad at literally everything he sets out to do. As if the last 5 movies weren't any evidence of that. Well, the last 4? He wasn't in the last one. Meanwhile, our boy Stewie and the other guy have decided that going in the front to steal that diamond from earlier is too hard, so they're gonna try to get into the network of tunnels under the mall, which it definitely has, and they're gonna steal the diamond. Good fucking God, they're still trying to get in through the door.
One eternity later.
Anyway, by some sheer coincidence brought upon by beings higher than ourselves, they have to go through Murray's dog school in order to get into these tunnels to steal the diamond by knocking a hole through the wall with a sledgehammer. Conveniently, they're gone before George has time to get back and collapse to the floor because he's so out of shape, it's scary.
Oh, and if you're looking for what's left of that collar, I checked the basement if you want it.
Maybe I can get it back while Georgie takes a nap.
And so, conveniently, in the next shot, the leech is gone, and Zeus escapes, again, to the basement where, conveniently, these guys don't realize that Zeus is here. They do, however, run into the angry gang of dogs that was sent after Zeus for reasons. Seriously, they see Zeus go by and they're like, Fucking seriously? And then Zeus hits a door, I guess. And the Dog Who Saved franchise wins the award for worst visual effects again. And that angry gang of dogs, their response is to just sit there and look at him. And then the maintenance guy shows up. And apparently everyone is afraid of the crazy Asian maintenance man. And yes, this might be mildly racist. And look, Zeus gets his collar back because that was such an important plot device. Oh, thank God. I was so worried.
He picks on you, doesn't he?
Maybe a little, but I can take care of him.
You're just too proud to ask for help.
This is horribly similar to the cat lady scene in the first movie.
Well, I mean, you said yourself that they're out of ideas. They're bound to recycle 10 million of them. And then the maintenance guy has Zeus plug in a radio because that is definitely something a dog is capable of doing. Also, a dog plugging something into an electrical socket is definitely safe.
Okay, you come back tonight at 10 o'clock, and I'll teach you lessons, all right?
You bet, Mr. Lee. I won't let you down.
Lessons, okay, yeah. How is the dog supposed to get back here at 10 o'clock at night, though?
So, Mom, when you said if you mess with the bull, you get the banister horns.
Nobody has ever said that in any of these movies ever. That has not been a saying for any of the previous movies. I'm assuming that's just, like, your catchphrase of the week. Like, mess with the bull and you get the horns is not something that you made up either. You just put the word banister in it. You're out of ideas. Admit it.
Wait a minute. What exactly are we talking about here?
That's exactly what I would like to know, Zeus. The seed has served no purpose. Oh, wait. George is now in the scene. Maybe he's here to complain some more. That's probably it. That or he's just out here to get hit by an RC helicopter. Because George's life is a sad, dark, torturous abyss from which he would never escape. Also, I'm seriously starting to become concerned for George's health. I mean, look at that. I don't think the helicopter hit him that hard, but he looks like he's in actual physical pain right now.
Belinda, the man is a monster.
Okay, here we go. Now George is complaining about Murray, because he hasn't complained about Murray enough in this movie for us to get the picture. But we can't have him complain for too long because 10 o'clock rolls around and Zeus has to, and the dog has escaped again!
How many times is it now?
Enough for them to get in trouble for animal negligence. And Zeus runs from home all the way to the mall, which apparently is local enough that he can run to the mall. Because according to these movies, everybody knows each other, and everything is 2 miles away from everything else, and everyone can just walk there. Or at least they can walk there when California isn't on fucking fire every fucking year. And listen, this was 2015. You expect me to believe California wasn't burning? I looked it up. It was. So forgive me if I'm not the least bit invested in your goddamn dog movie when the state is literally on fucking fire. Seriously, guys, this happens every year without fail. So the mildly racist stereotype takes Zeus down to the basement where we're,
Plant Paul.
Sure.
That's right. Now, wait a minute. Back straight. Now, firm like a rock.
Like that?
Hold it.
How am I doing?
Oh my God, they're doing a Karate Kid.
Oh my God, they're doing a Karate Kid! Alright, listen, we've been down this road a million fucking times, but let's go down this road again. Nobody in your fucking audience is going to understand this reference. Especially not the 500 people who actually bought this movie. I don't even think this joke is gonna hit with parents because chances are they've zoned out by this point of the movie or they've left the room. Believe me, nobody is going to understand your adult jokes. That I'm still taking flack from the goddamn Food Fight review and the British national anthem. And oh boy, it's 2 more days of the fun in the sun bullshit is so exciting. Can't wait to have fun in the sun, despite the fact that California is hot and in a perpetual state of heat wave, and it's garbage, and it's hot all the time. It's hot, okay? It's fucking hot, and I fucking hate it.
This is called weave walking.
Yeah, okay, no, it's fucking not. This is called a slalom. And the fact that you don't know what that's called makes me seriously doubt your qualifications as a pet trainer. Also, this is supposed to be an obedience school? All we've done is a bunch of obstacles. How exactly does this help to train obedience in any way? So, all the other dogs do the weave walking, and then it's Zeus's turn, and George fucks it up for everybody.
Watching you is so painful. I think I'll rub my eyes with a scouring pad to ease the pain.
You know what, Vernon?
Starting now to realize that George's life is just like the beginning part of an infomercial where their lives are just falling apart around them.
That's why I give my kids Freddy bars. They're full.
So finally, after that shit show, the B-plot shows up, and we're finally gonna start drilling holes in the wall to steal the diamond. But of course, just like everything that happens when Stewie is involved, we have to stretch this process out to as long as possible. Often falling flat on their faces. And then there's this dumb scene with George in a punching bag, even though I don't know what purpose a punching bag has in a dog obedience school, but okay, it's here. There's only one problem with their plan here, though. These guys are idiots, and they dug into the wrong basement. And the scene ends with them having dug 57 goddamn holes, and they finally realize that they need Ted because he's the only fucking person who knows what he's doing.
Stu, you gotta be kidding me. That's your third helping of pancakes.
I think better when I eat.
Oh yeah, sure, let's keep those food jokes rolling in because fat people are hilarious. Obesity is not a joke, guys! Millions are affected in this country every year!
We take a van, we drive it to the back of the place, right? Boom.
He drew that in crayon?
I made this same joke on the old Tumblr, and mine was funnier. What follows is them imagining breaking into a police station, which is definitely a good idea, by the way. Stewie doing a Vulcan nerve pinch on a guy. Them getting Ted out of jail, carrying him out to the van despite the fact that he could probably walk, and then, in their wildest fantasy, they still get caught. Which means we have to go to Plan B.
They're doing the hacksaw inside the cake bit.
Actually, it's a nail file.
Same difference.
Also, that's the woman from City Hall. She's in on this too now, I guess. And it's so funny because Stewie is really bad at cooking cakes. Oh, did I say funny? I meant, kill me. No, don't worry. It'll be super easy. I'm already dead inside.
Mario Lopez and tonight on Extra, we're going to take you to Miami, the wildest summer hotspots.
Ooh, who is this guy? I like his style.
Come on, Hunter. Just do it. Just pull the trigger. This could all be over. Just do it. For once in your life, just end it all.
George, what are you doing?
Watching TV.
Okay, yeah. I see what's going on here. The movie is actively trying to get me to give up right now. It's the Mario Lopez, it's the George is an idiot, it's the just everything. Everything about this scene. It's Mario Lopez doing Mario Lopez shit on TV. George is actively being an idiot. How can this possibly get any worse?
I think it's time that we discuss the fact that this whole obedience school thing just isn't working out.
Oh, now she's against the school.
That's a mood swing and a half, isn't it?
Writers apparently have a short attention span, but what do you expect from the guy who wrote Jersey Shore Shark Attack?
And a whole load of crap Hallmark Christmas movies!
I feel like throwing something. Is that normal?
There's a sledgehammer and a wrecked car out back. See you in a minute. Suddenly, without warning, the C-plot rears its ugly face, where the kids, or at least the girl is worried about the dog being sent back to the pound. This side plot is utterly meaningless because they're not gonna send the fucking dog back to the pound. We already had 5 movies. Also, you really gotta stop crashing this RC helicopter. I think the budget could only afford 1. Later that evening, Zeus, once again, breaks out of the house to meet up with the maintenance man, and we get ready for another night of training? By the way, that's training with a question mark, not training. Where Zeus has to go through the tunnel to chase off an actual live rat. Okay, I know we're just trying to train the whole tunnel part of this equation, but is the actual live disease-carrying rat necessary to this whole plan? Oh, then I guess that scene is over. I'm so glad we had that scene. It's great. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's wonderful. Thank you for wasting 2 more minutes of my precious life. Speaking of wasting my precious time on this planet, we have this incredibly important stairway scene where their son, whose name I definitely remember, is going to obedience school with George, and Blinda is off to do, I don't know, pottery or some shit.
Don't give me the eyeballs, okay? I have a bad hernia.
Yeah, that's great. You broke your fucking finger, you fall down a lot, I think you got sunburned, now you got a hernia. You know what, George? You have more issues than a newsstand, and I'm, like, actually now legitimately concerned about your health. Speaking of wasting my precious time on this planet, see, I did the same joke twice. We stopped by the grandmother's house and accomplished absolutely nothing. Oh, but it's so important because now their grandmother knows all about George's never-ending misery. She is now very aware of this. I am so glad we came here! 57 dead brain cells later, we cut over to the obedience... Really?
The final lesson is walking the teeter-totter.
Okay, I asked before, and now I will ask again. What do any of these have to do with obedience training? I thought this was an obedience training school. We're not training for Westminster. Zeus, despite having at least a few months worth of police dog training, completely fucks this up, which means it's time for George to make an ass out of himself.
You know, Bannister, I regret ever giving you a seat in my class. That seat should have gone to a more worthy student.
Yes, I see. This is the tell them they're worthless approach to teaching. Can you imagine if kids in school learn this way?
Listen here, puppy Rambo. I got news for you. You can push me around, you can mock me, you can make me jog until I puke. But don't ever, ever, ever de-animalize my dog.
And I do believe that is the angriest I've ever seen him.
You want to do the palm strike thing, don't you?
I really do. So the two of them make a bet as to who is going to perform better at the Fun in the Sun festival that they're having, even though the adults don't actually wager anything. It's like listening to 2 kids argue over who the best Ninja Turtle is. And I, for the life of me, cannot remember where I heard that joke. The 2 dogs, however, do make a bet, and Apollo says when Zeus loses, he's going to destroy his collar this time. And I don't think I've ever cared about something so little in my entire life. And so Zeus runs away again and heads on over to Mr. Miyagi for more training because now apparently his collar is at stake, even though I care very little. We don't actually accomplish much in this scene. Oh, but hey, at least Zeus learned how to recycle, which is something that we should all learn. Because climate change is not a joke, people. Millions are affected every year, including myself. Oh my God, it's way too hot. Cut to later that night, where the inner monologuing dog and the criminally insane man are trying to train, even though they are catastrophically unprepared for this little Fun in the Sun get-together thing.
I'm really sorry about bringing you in on this whole Vernon thing, just for a silly little bet. You're more important than that.
Believe me, this obedience school has been hard on the both of us.
Yes, I believe it's very apparent now that Zeus is catastrophically unprepared for this. You know, this dog that is smart enough to break out of the house on a regular basis, sneak off to the mall to talk to the possibly mildly racist stereotype maintenance person, when suddenly, without warning, Zeus is like, wait, I've been training this whole fucking time. That doesn't stop them from editing together a dumb montage, though, where they just train more, I guess.
This is steep.
You know, just in case it wasn't obvious enough that we're making a dog ripoff of Karate Kid.
Hey, you notice we haven't seen the robber guys lately, right?
You know, I did.
Up, down, up. Come on, up, down. Tunnel, yeah. Whoa, very good.
What the hell is this music?
Standard issue copyright-free garbage.
We are the victors of the globe, and we'll continue doing stuff.
And the very next day, it's time for this whole Fun in the Sun showcase bullshit. Yeah, how long do you think they sat around the old idea table coming up with that name? Everyone in town is at this thing, even Carmen Sandiego knockoff, apparently. Yeah, everyone's wondering where the hell is Carmen Sandiego? Bam, there she is. But in actuality, there's only about maybe 20 people here. Seriously, you think we have the money to pay like 100 extras for the audience? Finally, after about an eternity and getting our B's and C plot out of the way, we finally get to do this dog competition, which is as underwhelming as you probably think it is. Maybe even worse than that, actually. But Zeus totally nails it with the help of our knockoff Mr. Miyagi over in the corner. You know, it's actually really depressing with that maintenance guy that his career has been reduced to this. Because he was actually in a lot of stuff prior to this. When suddenly, out of nowhere, the mysterious absence of the three robbers comes to an end, and our knockoff Mr. Miyagi sees them going in to the dog obedience school, even though that wasn't actually a problem before, so I don't know why it's a problem now.
All right, give me the survey.
Ah, I see Ted broke out of jail off camera.
Maybe if they didn't waste time doing other pointless shit, we could have filmed that.
You seriously think they have the budget for that?
Damn it, I had this whole other joke going, but I'm too damn proud of you to be mad at you. So our robber trio is drilling through the wall to get the diamond, but Mr. Lee, which is his name, hears all of this. And he tries to put a stop to their dastardly deeds, which goes about as well as you might expect. Meanwhile, back at the dog competition, it's time to do the weave walking. Unfortunately, Zeus notices that Mr. Lee is missing. So the moment he is off the leash, he immediately bolts out the door. Nobody stops him either, which is really interesting.
You go bring him back. And Apollo, if you get a chance to finish him off, sweep the paw.
Did he just tell Apollo to go kill Zeus? Out loud? Meanwhile, our robber boys have broken into the vault, and Stewie is surprisingly good at stepping over lasers that are 3 inches off the ground. Seriously, they make this whole thing look extremely hard, but all of those lasers are just 3 inches off the ground. Zeus uncovers this dastardly plot, even though their robbery scheme has had pretty much nothing to do with the rest of the movie up to this point.
2 perps, and it looks like they're trying to steal something on the other side of that wall.
Maybe I was wrong about you, Zeus. You might just be a canine police dog after all.
This movie suffers from mood swings.
Well said. They hated each other not 2 minutes ago.
Did they switch writers mid-film or something?
More like he quit. Now we have no writer.
That's scary.
Indeed. So like something out of a terrible budget movie, which is what this is, actually, these two dogs decide to put aside their differences and work together to beat up the robbers. Maybe even kill them finally. And meanwhile, Stewie has a sandwich. I don't even know why I'm remotely surprised at this point. But no, apparently it's a pressure thing. He's got to Indiana Jones it, otherwise the alarm goes off. But it doesn't work and the alarm goes off anyway. Oh no. And the owner of the jewelry store gets informed that there's a break-in. The alarm isn't linked to the police, apparently. It's linked to his phone, because that makes perfect sense. Speaking of phones, apparently George's phone doesn't work.
Hey, maybe if they paid their fucking phone bill, you could call again.
Anyway, instead of running, because they obviously tripped an alarm, all the robbers stop to look at the glass paperweight that they stole. This ends up being a really bad decision.
Peekaboo, you robbers, you.
No.
It can't be.
Zeus.
No, it's a curse. It's the curse of Zeus. They can't rob anything anymore. Zeus will always be there. That's just the way of the universe. Meanwhile, Apollo finds Mr. Lee, which is his name, and Stewie is actually wise to all of Zeus's traps this time. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. After 5 movies, he's starting to learn. I mean, he had to use his brain eventually.
Right, Stewie? He put kibble all over the stairs. He's probably trying to make us trip.
I can literally hear it being crushed beneath your feet. In fact, this is not the first time Zeus has used an extremely crushable object in the place of ball bearings. Christmas ornaments, jelly beans. He could probably use paper balls and it would be good enough for the writers.
You take Fred, I got Stewie.
Get that dog!
Take that!
What the? Was that supposed to be a fight?
Even by this series' standards, that was extremely disappointing. Ted escapes out the back, but is quickly intercepted by a RC helicopter. Even though I don't think at any point the son was aware that there were robbers on the premises.
Deuce! There you go, buddy. You rescued Mr. Lee and you stopped the robbery.
No, I don't care, seriously. At what point, at any point, was the son even aware that Ted was on the premises? How did he know that he would have to chase after him?
It's an RC helicopter. Just bash it.
Oh, you'd think they'd be that smart, but no! And Ted gets caught by the police because of course he does. And I can only assume, after this, they finally looked into a career change because this is the last movie. And then we get that whole bit about the kids being worried about Zeus going back to the pound, and they talk about banister horns again, and the mother's like, no, you fucking idiot, he's not going back. And Apollo forfeits the competition, likely because there's someone with a cookie just off camera. And then Zeus does the slalom. It's called the slalom, not the weave walking. I don't care what you call it, you're fucking stupid! And Zeus wins the whole competition. Yay.
I don't think I care. Is that normal?
More than you might think.
I'd like to take a moment to chat about next year's party. Personally, I feel your sit and stay deserves something of a higher caliber, as opposed to this tacky grade school Hawaiian theme.
Mr. Vernon and I were thinking the same thing.
Glad to hear it.
And we'll be sure to discuss that with Belinda.
Hey, look! She's bad at it now! So, just to recap, our 2 to 3 robbers are still doomed to suffer for all eternity. Everyone who hated each other at the beginning of the movie is now friends. The Bannister family will never mention Bannister horns ever again. Summer is terrible. California is still on fire. Acid will rain from the sky. We'll never hear my voice again. It will be anarchy. And on that terrible disappointment, the movie finally comes to a close. So that's The Dog Who Saved Summer. And how is it?
It sucks.
Par for the fucking course. I hate this movie, and that is genuine hate. You know that feeling where it feels like you've been sitting there for an hour, but it's really been 10 minutes? That's this whole movie. It's a pain. This movie's a pain. It's like a hodgepodge of terrible ideas, recycled ideas, old jokes, and tropes that they've used 10 billion times. It's very, very apparent that the franchise is fatigued, old, and worn out at this point. It's grasping at straws. The staff is clearly arrogant to the fact that people do not want another goddamn movie, and it's just pathetic at this point. And it's absolutely pathetic. The Dog Who Saved franchise ends not with a bang, but with a whimper. I, for one, am just glad to be done with the whole thing.
What'll you do to replace it?
I don't know. In a way, I guess I don't really feel like it's over. The Dog Who Saved franchise has been like my white whale for 8.5 years. We went from smart guy and put down the fork man to Ted and Stewie. I really feel like I bonded with those two because I genuinely feel sorry for them. Joey Diaz started a YouTube channel and garnered over 500,000 subscribers. He just started a new podcast called Uncle Joey's Joint. Dean Cain is doing God knows what. Eliza Donovan's career never really recovered. Gary Valentine moved on. Even Mario Lopez has moved on. Even Mindy Sterling, the grandma that they shoehorned into every movie, has been doing a lot of stuff. God knows what happened to all the child actors. Even the Gingers Have Souls kid falls off the face of the earth after 2013. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, this franchise ended so many careers. But from the ashes, it started one. Mine. Because I'm still here. Still hating these terrible, terrible movies. It hasn't always been easy, but I learned everything I know about movie critique just by doing this show. So, I guess, in a way, thank you. My name is Hunter, and this has been a Hunter Review.
Oh, please, nobody tell him that there's actually a knockoff movie for The Dog Who Saved Christmas.
What was that? Hey everybody, thank you all so much for watching The Dog Who Saved Summer, and by extension, all of the Hunter Reviews Dog Who Saved videos on YouTube. It's been a journey. Anyway, the merch store is now open. We now have officially licensed Headhunter Productions merch. No Hunter Reviews stuff yet, though, because Hunter Reviews is our most problematic show when it comes to copyright, and that's gonna take a little bit. But in the meantime, thank you all so much. And also, thank you to all of our Patreon donors. The FOE3, Gavin Domenico, Some Random Person, Saxy1, Madman1234, Tribal Typhoon, Greg Premium, Sam, Julian Gushway, and Mustang Drew 4. Again, if you guys want to be thanked at the end of every single video, just consider a $1 pledge on our Patreon. It helps us immensely. And go check out our new show, Dungeons and Dorkheads, the Adia campaign. It's really good. We put a lot of effort into it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's some credits. Thank you for sticking with us this long. It really does mean a lot.
There once was a guy who created a machine, a thing that would take people to and from some other world. And when he arrived, he had run into a pony who smiled and decided that they both should go see a film. When that movie sucked, they decided to join forces, and then they created a new show called Hunter Reviews.
Watching you is so painful, I think I'll rub my eyes with a scouring pad to ease the pain.